guys, it's potatoes. I am canning potatoes today. Ended up at the Amish this morning. I have a friend down there, and she came out with a bucket and a half of new potatoes. Oh, love new potatoes. Anyway, she had a bunch of medium sized and small ones, and they're perfect for canning. And I love to grow them and can them. I didn't get any grown this year, but she had plenty, and so I got potatoes today. So I have washed my potatoes, scraped all the dirt off of them. They're all clean in the sink. And then medium-sized potato about like that. I'll cut them in half, fill my jars. Of course, my jars are clean, and then I pour boiling water in them and rinse them out to sterilize them good. I've got my rings and my flats in a pan on the stove getting hot. I have my canner on the stove over there. I'll turn that around so you can see it. So there's my rings and my flats, and my canner's on the stove getting hot. And so I have filled my jars with all these little lovely potatoes. And then these are quart jars, so they've all been sterilized. And I cut my potatoes in them. You don't want to cut them small. That's what I said about that size potato. Cut it in half and lay them down in there the best you can. Make sure they're rinsed and clean. And then on top of mine, I put a teaspoon of salt for quarts, and for half pints, which I'm doing, not half pints, pints, pints for my mom. And I'll just put a half a teaspoon of salt in these. So I fill the potatoes, I put the salt on top, and I'm putting boiling water up to the ring. You leave the 1 inch. This is your, they always say 1 inch of space at the top. If you want to know where to fill them to this ring. Then you'll have 1 inch of head space at the top. Just to give it, you'll have that. So, and everybody says debubble them. My debubble them is just sitting on the counter and doing like this, rotating them a little bit. Usually all the bubbles will come right to the top. You don't have to poke and prod down in them. I just wiggle them around. Then you can see if enough air comes up that you need to add a little bit of water, you can. That's no big deal. So once you've got your potatoes in your jar, your water on it, your salt, here's a good trick. Always put like a tablespoon of vinegar in your water, and then your jars don't turn white when they pressure. But also take a paper towel, put vinegar on it, and wipe around the tops of your jars. That'll clean off any salt, anything that gets on there that might cause them not to seal. All right, and once your flats are boiling or right at the point of boiling, you know that they're clean. Just put them on, finger tight. Just barely a little squeeze. You don't want to crank it down, or then you get the problem where it puckers up and it might explode. So what's up with it? Just barely put it on there and barely, just a little snug. And put them in your canner. Now, I'm gonna fill my canner up. Make sure that your seal in your canner, always make sure that your seal is clean, and if it gets the least bit dry, oil it. I'll put olive oil on it, put some olive oil on it, and then that'll make it last for years. When I put this up, now I have a 15-pound weight on mine, and I leave that 15-pound weight on mine, okay? Now, in my book, it says to can the quart 35 to 40 minutes. Now, each person needs to look up and make sure they know what they're canning. I know these don't have acid in it, and most things, if they don't have acid, say 90 minutes. And I've looked up 2 or 3 things, and it says 35 to 40 minutes, and that's what I do mine. But that's just me. This is for instructions. These videos are just, giving you some ideas on what to do, but you look up and do what's right for your family, okay? This is for my family, and hey, in 20 years I may not be here, and my kids or grandkids want to know how to do it. Maybe they can look me up and figure it out here. So once I put that on there, close the lid, bring the pressure up. We're going to do 35 since they're quarts, I'll probably do them 40 minutes. And then for my pints, I'll do probably 30 or 35. Anyway, that's how I can potatoes. I hope you learned something. If you have questions, hey, put them in the comments. I can try to answer them. If I can't, some other canner probably can. Anyway, I hope y'all have a good day. And I hope you can potatoes with me. All right?